Hodge, the Process CEO, and today I am here to talk to you about the perfect invoice for your home service company. There have been so many times that I would receive an invoice and want to send a check, and I can't even find an address, a mailing address on the invoice. So today I am here to show you exactly what fields you need to include on your invoice. But before we get started, please remember to pause, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. This is going to allow me to continue to create free content so that you can grow your home service business. I remember when we were growing our business back 5 to 7 years ago, I wish that back then I had somebody that would kind of hand me some resources to accelerate our growth. But here we are today and we are doing great. And now I want to go ahead and share my resources with you. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, it is really great for you to always brand everything that you are sending out to a client. So you want to have, if you have a logo, you definitely want to include your logo. And if you don't, definitely have your company name. There should be an invoice number because whoever you're invoicing is probably going to enter it into QuickBooks or enter it into their system, and you do need some sort of reference number for tracking. Now, we use Jobber as our CRM, and Jobber, which is our CRM, does our invoicing. So this invoice is generated from Jobber, and I was able to customize it. That invoice number is automatically generated to our clients. When I first joined the company, everything was done on paper and we were manually invoicing, and we didn't have a numerical tracking system. And that made it really messy because I'm sure that there were hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars that we didn't even collect throughout the year, simply because we didn't have a tracking method. So I would definitely be sure that every job is associated to an invoice number. You always want an invoice issue date and an invoice due date. That's very important. You want to be very clear. For residential customers, our invoices are actually due upon receipt. So we keep a credit card on file in Jobber, and then we show them this invoice, but then automatically charge the credit card. For commercial clients, depending on the contract that was signed, it's due 30 to 60 days after the issue date. So it's very important to have a due date, again, for tracking purposes. You always want the recipient name, address, and if applicable, a client purchase order number. We need that. We actually just added this field because we are doing a lot of commercial work now. And when we invoice for a commercial job, we do need to include a PO number. We used to write it down. So we would PDF this invoice, print it out, write the PO number, and then scan it and send it to them. And that's just way too many steps. So now we go ahead and we created a custom field and we can put the PO number in. You have to have your mailing address. It is so important as a company to put in your mailing address so that you can get paid. I can't tell you how many, even subcontractors that we've used, where I would get an invoice, be ready to pay, and have no idea how to pay it. I have no idea where to send it. You'll want to have your company phone number, email address, and website. That's just great. You always want to drive traffic to your website. So that's important. Of course, however you do your line items, it's up to you. I'm seeing some formatting things here. So you want to make sure that it's looking nice and neat and clean. Quantity, unit price, however you invoice, the line items are up to you, but you want it to be clear. You want the customer to know what service they're actually paying for. So what service you completed and why they owe you this money. The subtotal is down below. Tax is very important, and then the total. I have a disclaimer here. There's a thank you message, but then there's also a disclaimer that we received from our attorney. This is not legal advice, but I do think that you should put some kind of disclaimer on your invoice and even run it by an attorney just to make sure that the language works out for you and how you run your business. We added, please note that interest will accrue on any outstanding balance over 30 days. and further, that we will be entitled to the recovery of reasonable counsel fees and costs associated with the collection of any outstanding balance. In the home service industry, it is inevitable that you are going to have some sort of client issue, some sort of battle over money. And in the event that it does go to court and you need an attorney, you do want to cover yourself. So I think this is important, but again, this is not legal advice. Be sure to consult with your attorney. This is a very basic invoice, and this is how it should be. It should be basic, easy to read for your client. The client should know where to pay, how to pay, and all of that. Now, along with my invoice, an email is sent out to the client. So this is my actual invoice in Jobber. So the PDF that I showed you, this is what it looks like in Jobber. However, when I am emailing it to the client, they are receiving an email that has a little more information. Thank you for your recent business. This is the total amount to be paid. This is all like built into Jobber. So Jobber extracted the relevant details and automatically put it into this email template. I always put in, if you're satisfied with the work provided, leave a tip to our team members. I think that's important. We want, our customers to treat our guys properly, and we just feel like it's good to ask. If you're paying by check, please make your check payable to Clearview Washing. Please mail your check if you have any questions and whatever. So this is like a nice summary email. So depending on how you're issuing that invoice, if you're not emailing the invoice, if you don't have a CRM and you have no automated way of doing this, you should include who to make the check out to, and kind of like any additional details that you want, you should actually include it in the language of your invoice. And that way it's kind of a one-stop shop. I don't want to clutter my invoice with that language. That's why I have it in my email, and then that invoice is attached to that email. So again, these are really important fields. I know that you might think, why do I have to watch a video on how to issue an invoice? Because you might be missing something that none of your clients have ever told you about. I think it's very important to include these basic fields and anything else that's relevant to your company. But you want to keep it short and sweet, very user-friendly, easy to read for your client, not complex, not confusing, but also make sure that you're including really important, relevant information. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope that you learned something, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel so that I can keep this content coming along. Also, like this video, share it with a friend, and please drop a comment below on what other topics you want to hear from me about. I have a list that I'm putting together, so I'm going to roll out a bunch of great content to finish off the year of 2024 and prep for 2025. But again, please let me know what else you want to hear. Thanks so much, guys.